As we need to switch over to our picks and bans game or panel. And I still have the XLNC Sandwich Room, so I'll fix that in a second. But Darius banned away. There we go. I think Delicious Seal may have been trying to switch to spectator mode because he thought that somebody was telling him to go to the other team, but instead they were saying to join Discord. Either way, I assumed that his Darius is going to be banned against him anyway, so we'll have to see if he gets his Yasuo or if he's going for something completely different. He did mention a champion last game that he might be picking in the top lane. I'm not going to mention what it is because I don't want to see it banned. I want to see it played. But we also have the Mundo, the Morgana banned away from the side of Team Spectagte, as Leona, the last ban for CAPRI, Sun, taking her off of the map. So, strong powerhouses. No one truly OP besides maybe the Mundo. The Swain's a bit strong in the meta currently, but I'm surprised no Vlad banned because Vlad is just still such a dominant person both in the bottom lane or top lane. Really strong.
Yeah, he's super potent, and mostly because of course it's Vladimir. His sustain makes him able to just stay in the fight for so much longer, especially once you get to the higher levels. Once you've got all those items, his Q re-heals him, especially when he gets that proc. His Q heals him for almost a third of his health with one ability, as we see Seshat picking up the Yasuo and Catinator grabbing the Aatrox. And Catinator's holding on to teleport here, so if that is... Oh, no, he flipped to Ignite, so we will see what happens there. No free names hovering the Cho'Gath. This is... I already like the draft on the side of Team Spectagte. Oh, I didn't realize that was our actual name for that. Spectagte. Spectagte.
Spectacle.
Yeah. Are we going with Spectacle?
Spectacle.
Okay.
Spectacle. Spectacle. Or you can just say spectate. Either way, I just thought it was so hilarious.
Couple really nice tanky options on the side of Team Spectacle right now, especially if that Aatrox goes with a tankier build. Now, right now, he's going for the Bruiser build instead of a dedicated tank. But, I mean, with that second life from his ultimate, he turns into a proxy tank almost. And with that Cho'Gath being that unkillable monster in the late game, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Team Spectacle can pull out here at the end. As Phantom of Temp picks up the Ashe and Commander C2121 grabs the Kayn. So a lot of AD on the side of Capri Sun right now, which, as we saw last game, can work against you a little bit.
I'm interested in seeing, Delicious is usually a top laner, but he may be switching out with the bottom lane ADC role with what he mentioned in the game previously. Either way, the Aatrox is one of those champions that I've been listening to a lot, especially over Rift Rivals, as well as been solo talking through Twitter to a lot of Riot people. And what they've said is that he's a champion that if he lands that first Q, the first knockup, he's got to get that sweet spot of his first knockup. He can chain the rest of his abilities very easily. He can also use his E with the Ethereal Change to drag you into the center and use that to land the Q better. However, if he misses any of his spells, they're on such a massive cooldown that it takes forever for them to come back up. And if you have either somebody with high mobility that avoids his auto attacks, especially because his third one does that chunk for percentage health, or you have somebody that's ranged in the top lane versus him, as long as you dodge his spells, you really don't have an issue. And you should be able to push him back. He's just such a good fighter. And most people either A, don't know how to time his spells correctly to chain them usefully to be able to get the most effect you can with them, which means that they feed very hard, or the opposite is true and that somebody's really good with him and nobody knows how to play against him and he could just decimate anyone. He's considered one of the best 1v1 top laners right now in the game, especially level 1. So we'll have to see how he does with him, if it is truly Catinator that's going to play him instead of trading it out with Delicious Seal, who we've seen play before. We could run through the bans, but they're not as fun as running through the picks. The Kaisa being this next pick for Team Spectacle as Hi Guys 420. Oh, I was excited for the Fizz! Oh, he got me hyped. I was looking for the Playful Trickster, but instead it's going to be the Vigard, picking up more boring for the mid lane.
It's still a very solid pick, especially since he doesn't quite know what he's going into. It looks like Delicious Seal is holding on to that last pick for the mid lane. If I had to guess, actually, this may be a swap. Seal picking up the Zed, and is he going to trade that with Catinator?
I feel like it's got to be a trade because it's Zed with the teleport and Catinator with Ignite.
Yeah.
There's almost no way that that's not going to be traded out. We'll see if it truly happens. I've never seen Delicious Seal play Zed before, If he does, it'd be crazy. Maybe it's in the mid lane. Who knows?
There he goes.
But hasn't showed up here yet. But that's okay. Lux picked up by DRF Xeno. So rounding out a little bit more AP, the combination of Hi Guys Vigar and Xeno's Lux.
My dog was laying on my wire, and and I moved, and it pulled the wire out.
I heard a robotic explosion in my ear and was like, "What?
I apologize.
What just happened?"
I apologize.
That's all right. My one worry with Capri Sun at this point is they have no tank. They've got no really solid front line. They've got a great amount of CC between Vigar's Stun, Ashe's Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Lux's Snare, Kane's Knockups, Yasuo's Tornadoes. They've got a lot of decent CC, but they don't have any front line tank. And did you see Zed and Aatrox switch? Because it looks like...
No, they did not.
Okay.
They did not. They did swap their summoner spells, though. Delicious Seal went off of Teleport and picked up Ignite. Meanwhile, Catinator picking up Cleanse, actually.
Probably against all of that CC I was just talking about from Capri Sun. We saw last game where they were able to layer their CC very carefully one at a time, and Aatrox, or not, it wasn't Aatrox, it was Darius this time. But even still, if he had had Cleanse to avoid that first one, could have been able to avoid a lot of the rest simply by walking away, as well as it gives you a massive boost in tenacity if you do get hit by another CC after the first one that you've cleared. So there's pretty good chance that he's going to be happy with his choice, especially considering that, as I said, there's no tanky front line from Capri Sun, whereas Spectagte has a massive Cho'Gath for the front line. So let's go ahead and run through the... Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. We'll run through the picks and bans, and then we'll run through the...
Yeah, run through the players and their champions, and then we'll get into analyzing these teams a little bit more. For Team Capri Sun, we've got Shat. I didn't want to say it, but I ended up saying it anyway. Sesh taking Yasuo in the top lane. Commander C2121 taking Kayn in the jungle. Phantom of Temp on the Ashe in the bottom lane AD carry role. Hi Guys 420 with the Vigar most likely in the mid lane as DRF Xeno goes the aggressive route. Dangerous woman, as Poltra Dude says in the chat. Taking the Ignite in the bottom lane supportive role.
And then on the side of Team Spectagte, we have Aatrox played by Catinator in the... I'm actually going to say that might be in the mid lane. I don't know, though. No Free Names playing Cho'Gath in the jungle. Sona, played by Enzalor, into the supportive role with Raven Leewaite's Kaisa on ADC. And then Delicious Seal bringing the Zed to the table. First time we've seen this champion out of him, so I'm very excited to see what he can do with it.
All right, so where the front line and the overall team fight power from Spectagte is pretty darn awesome. Cho'Gath tanking the front line, Sona CC in the healing in the back, the assassin, the bruiser, the AP, Kaisa probably coming out. Combination, they've got a great overall 5v5 team composition. What is it from Capri Sun that's going to help them win this game if they're going to? Because at this point in picks and bans, it looks like Spectagle's got a much better composition.
The main thing that Spectagte has to watch out for is Capri Sun's, like you said, Capri Sun's CC chains. If they can land those CC chains, especially if Kayn can pick up a separate group from Yasuo's Tornadoes and possibly get a 5-man knockup between the two of them that Yasuo can last breath off of, that Kaisa and that Sona and the Zed can be deleted very quickly, at which point the Aatrox and the Cho'Gath, yeah, they put out a lot of damage, but if you've got 5 targets focusing the two of them down, they will fall, especially with 5 different forms of CC being thrown at them. If I am on the side of Team Capri Sun, I'm looking to pick off and execute the Kaisa first and foremost, and then the Zed, or you can flip the two of them order-wise, depending on how well either one of them is doing. But for me, right off the bat, the Kaisa needs to be the top priority, and then the Zed. Of course, if Kaisa doesn't have a good game, or if Zed has a really good game, you flip those. Either way, those two need to be the first two off the board so that you can focus down the tanks afterwards. But you have to watch out because Spectagle's going to be going for that front-to-back team fight where they've got Cho'Gath and Aatrox rocking the front lines, throwing all their CC and disruption as they can, while Kaisa tears apart your lines.
And that's what I'm nervous about, is when you have a Cho'Gath, especially on all these squishy members of Capri Sun, he can walk forward or flash feast the Lux, the Vigar, the Ashe, take them off the fight immediately. After that, all you need is a Kaisa diving into the back line with that twin Void Seeker, as well as her ultimate. I'm trying to learn the names. Something Hunter. Get it now. Urgh. So close. I'm learning. I'm getting there. But anyway, using the ultimate to get to the back line to start assassinating people. Even with the mobility that Capri Sun has, there's so much opportunity for Spectagte to follow. Zed, also a hypermobile champion. If anyone's about to get away, they go to flash. He just ults them, follows them through, and then comes out the other side, finishing off the damage. So I really think that as long as Spectagte doesn't lose the early game, they should have this game in the bag. The one counter, as we were talking about, is Capri Sun's CC. And if they group, I would love to see even 2-3 man ganks in the mid lane, the bottom lane. I want to see these champions running everywhere on the map, getting those CC chains down. Sure, maybe the mid lane Aatrox is dealing a bit of damage to your turret, but you're more mobile than him on the Lux. So get to the bottom lane, find a snare, and set up for the rest of your team on the Veigar and the Ashe to really get some kills. Especially early games, Sona, Kai'Sa, there's some squishier champions. So it probably is the Zed in the mid lane and the Aatrox in the top lane, though. Hey, Janabot, welcome back to the stream. As I'm sitting here,
hey, Janabot,
how to switch over to my fancier. Wow, there we go. I shouldn't do that every single time, but it's so fancy, guys. It's so fancy. We're gonna check in real quick on this Aatrox skin. The heartbeat on his blade is super sick. The blade on his back.
Called it.
Oh, it is Aatrox mid Zed top. Yep, you are correct. So Salic wins the first of the predictions, I suppose you could call it. Oh, he may have.
Yes, Janabot. We got one more after this. We are in game 2 right now.
Do you want in?
Get your
Get your windy butt in here. Yee.
Get your.
All right, you got to do the exclamation, join, and then your in-game name. But type your actual in-game name, which I think I'm friends with you, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm just trying to get everyone to be using the queue system because that locks you a spot in. Perfect. Cool. That locks your spot in for game number 3. I don't know why I'm still hanging out watching Aatrox wander back and forth. No invades in game number 2. So one of the lanes that I'm really wanting to watch is this mid lane Aatrox, especially versus this Veigar, which apparently is as it's the bottom lane Ashe and Lux combined. Because it's a Veigar versus Aatrox. I mean, is there anything you can break down for me? Obviously, I don't think anyone's ever seen these two lane against each other.
I mean, the biggest thing is going to be the range advantage that Veigar has over him. Aatrox, like you said, if he lands that first knockup, he's going to get a lot of damage down.
Enzor starting us off with a flash. Ignite taking away, an auto burn as well. Enzor may go down, doesn't have a potion taking away. First blood straight over to Zeno on the Lux with that aggressive Ignite. Dangerous Woman comes out in the lead with fancy first blood. As Catinator comes in, look at the damage onto High Guys 420, flashes forward to get the third final Q proc, but doesn't get the last hit onto High Guys 420 to get the kill. There's still opportunity that he could land another Q once the cooldown comes up. We talked about how it's a very long cooldown early game, so the flash forced out from Veigar, not going to have it if they decide to do it again. Raven Leo getting some good damage onto Zeno, knocking him down under 200 health. But they're going to have to back off as there's a fight for the Scuttle Crab on the bottom side. And it's been non-stop action since minute 1.5 as Zeno comes in to try to help out. They smite away the Scuttle Crab. It goes over to Commander C21. So they win the smite war. Things start to calm down a little bit. Go ahead with your analytics in the mid lane. I apologize.
I was just going to say before we had all that chaos break out, talk about if Catinator can land that first knockup like we were already talking about, that there was a massive CC chain he could use to take Chunk Veigar out, and he did just that and almost got the killer as a result of it. Veigar went down to it looked like about 50 HP left.
Very, very close. Imagine if Catinator had Ignite. That would have been a kill in the bag. But he takes the defensive route of that cleanse and uses his flash aggressively to land the third proc of the Q. So instead, wasn't able to pick up the kill. Force Veigar back, but he's done a really good job of farming underneath the turret despite being pushed back and is actually gaining a lead a little bit at a time on the Aatrox.
Well, and that's the result of that aggression that Aatrox was showing, is that he's actually falling a little bit behind in farm because he's focusing on the damage through that first little bit. He's also going back to that range advantage that we mentioned a moment ago. He's going to fall behind naturally because he has to stay a bit further back and respect the fact that Veigar can damage him from further away.
Oh, Cadnair stepping forward, lands one of the Qs, but the camera's going to switch over to the top side as Sesh on the Yasuo continues to bounce back and forth. He's down a little bit in farm and needs to play safe. There is the opportunity for Zed to get some really good outplays, but the nice thing about him is that wind wall. If Zed tries to throw the shurikens to get the last hit, if he gets really, really low, especially with that ignite, he can throw the wind wall up, deflect all of those shurikens, and walk away.
Comes in with the knockup.
There's that ignite. There's the shurikens. Ignite ticking away. Forces the flash out of the Yasuo. Didn't have enough wind for the wind wall is the only thing that I could assume. And so is going to be recalling back at the tower. Kayn around the corner. No time for an invade or trying to get a gank off, considering that his top laner's already gone. Cho'Gath coming up here as well.
Yeah, it was a good job by Delicious Seal on this Zed. He actually used his clone to get away from the knockup that Seshat was going in for when he came in. He immediately went for the Q to get the knockup, and that because he shadow cloned away, he managed to get a ton of return damage on there. Almost got the kill as well, although he did burn his ignite as a result. We do see that Seshat did teleport back into lane, so both of those cooldowns, both of those summoners are down for Seshat, while Seal still has his flash remaining.
Yeah, he will be able to recall safely and should be able to speed his way back to lane. We'll see if he decides to buy boots to get back there faster, or if he still likes to go that damaging route. Raven Leo in the bottom lane, taking a small chunk. There's continuing this kind of poke in the bottom side for Capri Sun, but at the moment, it's really being won out by the side of Phantom of Temp. Oh, nice little binding onto Raven Leo, docking down under 300 health. Has to play safe, and that's losing over 10 farm as No Free Names comes to the mid lane. Rupture not going to land onto high, guys. He avoids one Q. The stab comes down, gets the snare, and there is Kayn around the side. Wants in onto Capnator, finds some damage. Hasn't been able to change into his darkened form just yet, but they are getting two-man by No Free Names as well. Both junglers here to party. Oh, Capnator jumps in for the last bit, but trades his life as Kayn going to trade it out. That Aatrox not level 6 yet, so didn't have his ultimate. So it will just be a trade of kills as both junglers walk away in the mid.
That was actually really smart by Catnator. It looked like Kane's Q was about to come back up, and so he would have had the damage and, more importantly, the speed to come back in and actually catch up. So as a result, Cat goes in, gets that kill down, and he has hit 6 now when he went back to base, so he will be able to use that ultimate the next time one of those engagements happens.
Well, I guess I probably misspoke, and he might have gotten 6 right before the fight ended, because I don't think... Can you level in base?
I think there's like a very low passive XP gain that takes place. I could be mistaken on that, though.
Maybe he did.
It might be that he might...
Yeah,
that's right. I do have...
That, but it's fun if you wanted to. You certainly could, but I'm not. No, I was more joking as I spoke that. Commander C in the river finds No Free Names.
He hit 6. He hit 6 off of the kill.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Phantom of Temp comes up trying to get the slow down. No Free Names walking away. Catnator here now, as we talked about, has his ultimate stuck inside the dueling pit. But Commander C is super low, and Aatrox finishes him off. There goes the ultimate, trying to get some damage down. Xeno gets a double binding, but he's not level 6 yet, going to fall himself. And that is 3 kills over to Spectagte, as they are going to turn onto the Mountain Dread and won a huge fight.
Fantastic job by them going back and making sure that they engage, and then Catnator not walking into the stun wall while he has his ultimate active, making sure he is available and doing damage that entire fight. Raven, Leo, 8, and Enzelo are doing a good job of catching up with the rest of their team and reforming those battle lines so that they can actually stay alive through that whole fight, because they were both super low on mana. They wouldn't have had much left in their tank if they did go down there, as we see Delicious Seal engaging in the top lane.
Going and looking for it.
Oh my gosh!
With that electrocute, just destroys the Yasuo. Immediately wiped off of the rift. I mean, lands every spell, gets the electrocute proc, and that's the end of the Yasuo.
And that was a good job using his ultimate, leaving the clone from the ultimate behind, jumping over with another shadow clone. So he had 2 clones active, and then throwing all the shurikens at one spot. He got hit by 2 shurikens and then an auto attack, and that set off the electrocute, which bursted down the rest of the damage that he needed in order to secure that kill.
2 kills to 5. Spectacle winning out so far this game. And this is what we talked about. It's not good for Capri Sun. They needed to win the early game. They needed to layer some of that crowd control to get some of those early kills and start the snowball. But at this point, Spectacle not only wins the late game, but they're also going to have some CC as the 2 members here in the mid lane. Ash Arrow not quite going to collect, even though he almost flashed into it. Commander C, very, very low, will be taken out as the Cho'Gath comes in for the slows. Now High Guy's in trouble. Catinator backs out, saying, "You've got this." The red buff, no free names. Ooh, nice dodge from High Guys. The flash from no free names feasts into an auto attack, takes out the Viger despite a beautiful almost outplay.
That was really unfortunate. I mean, I do like the kill, but no free names. It was very unfortunate that he had to use that auto attack after the feast, as he does not get a stack on his feast off of that. And those are the important ones you want to make sure that you pick up whenever possible, because those are the ones that do not have a cap on them. Remember, after the Aatrox rework back last season, he does have a cap on how many stacks he can get off of minions and monsters.
So Aatrox backing in the mid lane now, 62 farm to the 49 of the Vigar. He's got a wave that he can catch, but he's not going to be near that 62 farm. In the bottom lane, same is reversed, as it is the Ash, Phantom of Temp, on the 70 farm to the 48 by Kaisa, who's just continuously been poked out by Xeno, who's getting ready to poke him out some more. Throws out the E, but at this point, with the ultimate, Enzlor is going to be able to throw down some pretty solid heals. The main thing is making sure that Sona keeps her mana up so that she can continue to heal Kaisa and keep her up. Delicious Seal on the top lane, just going to be using the ultimate to try to get out of the snare from the Vigar, and with a little bit of fancy footwork, gets himself back underneath the turret. Cho'Gath coming around the side, decides not to engage though, as there are now 3 members up there, and with that outnumbering, they're going to back out.
That was really nice on Seal's part there. He ults in, like you said, to avoid the stun, and then flashes to the side in order to avoid the knockup from Kayn when he lands, and then ult goes back to his original Shadow Clone off the ult. Yep. Really clean on his part.
Didn't even need to use the flash, it was just one of his shadow dashes as Xeno...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
In the bottom lane, pushing out. Here comes the mid lane, though. No free names, chasing down Commander C, but now there is no turret. The flash forced out from the Kayn. He gets to slow down, but will he be able to escape from this one? No, the stun only lands on Cho'Gath after he walks into it, and Aatrox has already bursted the Kayn down. So that darkened to darken. Kayn not feeling so good.
Well, and oh, it lands the first one. Second.
And the chains trying to line up for the third one. Beautiful play by Catinator. 1, 2, 3, just bursts him down in the mid lane. Enzlor is getting chunked out towards the bottom lane, underneath 400 health, the snare, but he's been able to get back underneath the turret. So with those heals, going to keep themselves up a little bit. But again, this poke from Capri Sun's bottom lane forces them out time and time again, and they're losing out on a lot of farm.
Yeah, they're looking to ping for assistance here. It looks like Catinator's Aatrox is heading down there, so Enzlor's sticking around and baiting in Xeno and Phantom of Temp, and they are stuck in the gauntlet now as Catinator comes in on the backside.
Oh, Catinator with the ultimate already started. The Ash has already fallen, and that's going to be 2 quick kills to Spectacle. There wasn't even really much to watch as the Aatrox just caught the Ash unawares. Q, take her down. And then the Lux, with no backup, is just immediately bursted. Enzlor using a nice ultimate there to get the stun, setting it up for the Kaisa to follow with her own.
Yeah, it is worth noting, Sona did actually pick up the kill on that one. Assist goes over to Raven Leo 8.
Ignite taken away, and there's the burst! Delicious
there's the
Seal
pop.
With a nice outplay on the Yasuo in the top lane. Gets him a little bit down and then just bounces around. Yasuo is saying in the comments, I just can't do anything. There's nothing I can do against this Zed, who's now 114 farm to the 64 farm on the Yasuo. That's what we were talking about in picks and bans, taking a melee champion into Zed. I mean, it's kind of the opposite, you know, in the mid lane, where you're taking a ranged champion against a melee. The range is going to have the opportunity to harass and basically have his way with the mid lane. Knock up onto Catinator, trying to give it damage they can. There's Kayn's ultimate as well. Can Catinator finally fall? He doesn't have his ultimate, and Kayn, Commander C, picks up the shutdown gold. It's much needed.
Yeah, that's definitely make sure they have a lot more ability here, as we got the ult coming in, but no free names coming in from the jungle here.
Yeah, no free names, trying to dissuade the members of Capri Sun. Flash forced by Xeno. Raven's Leo lands the Void Seekers, but won't chase in any further underneath the turret. Good initial arrow from the Ashe, but the move by No Free Names to roam towards the bottom side was just well timed and turned that fight completely off. As Hi Guys 420 may just be feasted. Ooh, just barely doesn't find the stun. Cho'Gath able to halt mid-step and turn around. So they're just going to part ways.
Yeah, laid down the stun, laid down the Event Horizon, and as a result, he couldn't really cross it, couldn't really chase in, and so there we go.
So 3 kills, 2-12, 4,000 gold lead for Team Spectagte as they're feeling really good. They did pick up the Mountain Drake early on in the game, but it is now a Wind Drake, so they aren't concerned with that near as much. The Rift Herald started up by the Cho'Gath and the Aatrox. Don't even need the top laner to come help out with that one. They're just going to slowly burn it down. That's actually one of the worst places to have the Rift Herald, though, because it back for a long time was against the wall. They're trying to get it to turn around. It's kind of working, but Aatrox is deciding to go in on the Kayn. Darken to Darken. Commander C may be in trouble. The Veigar here tried to help out, but the stun isn't going to land on anyone. Forced to run away now with that silence, and they should be able to finish off the Rift Herald. See around the corner, Sesh around the corner. May try to actually steal it away now that it's 1v1, but nope. That's going to be Cho'Gath finishing it off. He's going to have it. The running away from Yasuo not going to be enough. He decides to ult back in, but only to his own demise as Zed clears the top lane turret as well. Spectacle in full control of the game as the exhaust, the snare, stun, final spark, Lux finishes off the Kai'Sa, and then Ashe just 1v1 Sona afterwards as well. I was confused for a minute though because I was trying to figure out who got kill credit, and I think it was the Lux that got kill credit for finishing off the Kai'Sa.
No, it was, they both went to Ashe.
Oh, good. Double kill to Ashe, which is what you want in that bottom lane. Get her a little more fed. Still has yet to complete her first item of the game. Commander C clears the Rift Herald on the top side as the top lane turret went down. And that's actually one of the best things for Capri Sun, was despite losing one turret and the drop of the Rift Herald, they didn't lose a second on that top side. Though the mid lane will be lost as Catinator dives in onto Phantom of Temp, trying to land the CC, but the exhaust is good. Chasing away, though, he does still have cleanse available. Drops down the chains, won't land on anybody. The fear comes out. Will it be enough to keep him alive with that ultimate ticking away? Can't get over the wall, though. Tries to turn on the Xeno, will still fall himself. And Capri Sun gets some very needed gold.
Much needed goal, but they are still bleeding objectives across the map. 17 kills to 6, and you know, as much as I will oftentimes berate her, as a reminder, Raven Leo is my sister. As often as I will berate her, she did a very good job this game of actually holding Phantom of Temp in place. Her Kai'Sa is one of her better champions, so I was a little nervous because she doesn't have very much confidence coming into these, but she did a great job with that. As Delicious Seal,
trying to get the
Steely
outplay.
Things.
Steely
Things.
Catches the Yasuo. May try to get Commander C as well. He's down to 3/4 health. Raven, Leo, and Zalora doing some nice hard push in the bottom lane, just getting that turret down in health, down to about half, as they are now going to back out. Phantom of Temp, very comfortable on this Ashe. Has played her probably more than any other champion besides maybe a Kali on the stream. Cho'Gath was in the Dragon Pit. It is a Wind Drake. Decides to back out and not go in for it, as Veigar did catch him out. But with Aatrox here, they may go right back onto it.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and look to secure the dragon, as Raven, Leo, and Enzel are actually doing a solid job pushing this in the bot lane, keeping Phantom of Temp and Xeno to where they have to stay there or they're going to lose that tower. And as a result of the pressure from the bot side, that dragon is an easy secure for the mid laner and jungler.
Yep, so Spectacle not only get a Wind Drake, which will allow them to move faster between the lanes, but also to find those engages that they want. We talked about Capri Sun trying to set up the CC. They would love a Wind Drake to make some of those engages happen for those pick composition that they have grabbed for themselves. But instead, the team composition just hasn't worked out. Nice layering of CC, though, onto Catinator, forcing the ultimate very early, trying to get the CC down, but he is going to fall if he cannot resurrect himself in time. Catinator timing the knockup perfectly, and they've taken one out. Zed is pushing on the side lanes, trying to get a turret down. He's working on the inhibitor turret on the bottom side, but the root on the Kai'Sa will explode her. Zito finishing her off with that nice final spark. No free names on the run. Enzlor here as well for the speed boost. But in the meantime, Zed has already taken the bottom lane inhibitor turret.
That's inhibitor.
Working on the inhibitor as well. Sesh trying to find Enzlor, Phantom of Temp here as well. The speed boost, they're just using this as a distraction. No free names, trying to get what damage he can down, but there's nothing that Yasuo has. He's going to fall. In the meantime, the CC snare, everything onto the Zed, and they pick him up before losing the top lane inhibitor. So that works out really well for Capri Sun.
It works out well for Capri Sun, although they do lose that top lane inhibitor turret, so they are going to be facing a lot of pressure from having that open inhib, especially since they haven't managed to take a single tower. That's the big thing, is they've been losing objectives across the map this entire game and haven't taken anything from themselves, despite the fact that they've had a little bit of pressure forming, especially in this bottom lane. Phantom of Temp and Xeno have been applying pressure, but haven't been able to capitalize on that pressure and take that tower. So as a result, they're falling massively behind. We see a almost 6,000 gold difference in the favor of Team Spectagte.
Baron spawning in under 30 seconds. We'll see if either team decides to try to rush it down. There is a control ward near it for Spectagte, but neither team has any true vision on it. So I think that's going to be an objective not really rushed at this point in the game. Katmir trying to find any wolves, but doesn't get anything with his Q. Goes in onto, Sesh able to dodge a little bit, but I think with the tornado missing, will not be able to escape. And Katmir on the Aatrox in the mid lane, 10, 4, and 3, has decimated this game so far.
And the big downfall there is that Sho'Gath was trying to push out that mid wave, but he had no vision. If you look, all the vision on the side of Capri Sun is in the river on the bottom side of the map. They have nothing on that top side of the map, which is where all the pressure is.
Knocked down. They want to move in onto Raven low as well, and that's going to be the Kane using the ultimate to try to get in, slow down Raven Leo. The damage will not pop, finishing her off, so she will be able to walk away. As the turret, though, in trouble if they decide to push in. Cho'Gath around the corner, but everyone's moving towards the base now. Is Capri Sun going to lose their top lane inhibitor? The root onto Delicious Heal. He's fallen. Katniner's ulting. He's trying to get what he can down in a 1v3 situation. Is the snare going to be enough? He used the CC to get to the stun. The snare doesn't follow his. He flashes forward. He gets the last auto attack onto the Yasuo. He's getting the outplay. Xeno dropped low. Uses the shield to stay alive for the moment. Commander flashes forward. Gets the knock up. And finally, the Kane takes him down, getting a much needed revenge. And they still have not lost the top lane inhibitor.
Oh boy, they got close though. It definitely came down to the nitty-gritty as Raven moves away from this tower as No Free Names is there to tank it. There we go, moves back in.
Alright, so
and now this
turret gonna fall for the side of Team Spectagte. There are 6,000 gold in the lead. Thank you for the 6 bits to Jace's. Just a little extra tip for that. I appreciate it. If there's a reason why there's 6, I'd love to hear it. But at this point, I don't see any 6s in the game unless you're counting the 6 kills that Aatrox has gotten out of his 11. But, you know, whatever. 21 kills to 12. He's participated in over 14 of them. Phantom of Temp on the arrows. Snare and final spark. The double root from the Lux gets a double kill over to Phantom of Temp on the Ashe. Huge play.
Massive play, but Phantom of Temp is walking back towards base, walking back into the brush to base instead of pushing that tower down because they don't have any vision, so they can't secure and make sure that, yes, we can take this.
Yasuo with the outplay on the snare chains from the Aatrox, the infernal chains, not going to land. Now Zed is free push to the top lane side. Are they going to be able to stop him? He may finally take the inhibitor.
They canceled the teleport!
What? Okay.
They canceled the teleport.
All right. Well, Delicious Heal is rooted up underneath the turret, but he's going to pop Phantom of Temp regardless. Xeno gets a nice outplay. The binding underneath the turret was him low enough that an auto attack going to finish him off. And now Yasuo 1v1 starts the recall, knowing he's already gone. Just a little bit of fun as Xeno tries to stop the No Free Names now. Massive Cho'Gath, 4-0-5, already over 3,000 health, pushing through the mid lane. There's the spammed out emotes as it looks like it's just going to be a 3v3 in the mid lane. Everyone jumping onto high. Guys, the double snare from the Lux, though, doing really good work this game. Cho'Gath just beats away the Vygar. Double binding once again. The Lux doesn't have her ult just yet. Finally uses a Catinator, using the ultimate to stay alive. The shield keeps Xeno up, and she gets the kill credit from the tower shot onto the Sona. Beautiful plays there by this Lux. Arrow between the goalposts. Goal! Except
it's
not
good.
Really. 3 points over to Ashe, but it's the wrong game. Catinator ult is down, uses the Infernal Chains. Yasuo's going to dash right through them, trying to set up for the knock-up onto the Aatrox. Catinator still not going down. Commander C finds the smite for the slow, and now for no free names on the run, uses the Rupture just to keep Commander C from chasing any further, and that's going to be it. As the Jesus, thank you for the 3 gold bits. Spams out the goal emote. Delicious Seal going in, finds Phantom of Temp, is going to get a kill on that one, which is Zed. Once he throws all of his cooldowns down, he gets the kill. Vygar just forced to just use the wave clear bot back in base. And there's the extra 4th bait I think you were trying to post.
Ooh, that was close. That was close. Fortunately, they did have a Cho'Gath devour that and make sure that it did not go over to the enemy, or feast that, sorry. Devour is a different champion.
That's Tom Kench, right?
Yeah, Tom Kench's devour, yeah.
Tom Kench with the devour. So
yes,
26 kills to 17, 5,000 gold in the lead, but they haven't been able to scale that gold much in the last 5 minutes. It's been staying fairly even, but a lot of that is due to the shutdown that Capri Sun has been able to get on a couple of different champions. The only one they haven't been able to shut down just yet is that Cho'Gath. 5-0-5. Sesh going in, finding the knock-up immediately into last breath onto the Kaisa. Look at the damage return! Oh my goodness, Xeno wants to find the binding. It's just a little short, but the final spark still is enough. And Raven Leo 8, despite trying so hard and getting such good damage down, is still going to fall. The flash from Enzel respectfully avoiding the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, because with Xeno there, 6-3-7, that would have been death for the Sona.
Her Raven's flash is just now coming up. She was so close to having that to get away.
Oof. Painful in the mid lane, knock up onto Cho'Gath, but it's a tanky choke. Can he stand these 3? I don't think so, unless the Aatrox comes in to save him, who is here using that ultimate, getting some good damage down onto Sesh. Gonna force the Yasuo to back up a little bit. Delicious Seal popping the Ashe from behind. He is now back in his own jungle. Such a mobile champion as Catinator avoids so much CC. Stun, tornado, knock up, snare from Lux. Just walked right out of all of those.
It was so close, and these are the 3 that we really wanted to focus on. Delicious Seal, no free names, and Catinator, either because of the player or the champion, as that just results in an absolute pop. That barely missed. Oh my.
Catinator not quite gonna land it. Xeno getting a nice snare onto no free names, forcing him to back out from underneath the turret. Is trying to run away from Catinator, who does flash forward aggressively, looking for the Q. Doesn't even find the sweet spot. No free names, happily tanking the turret, just poking away a little bit. But Commander C is here. Final spark doesn't quite catch him though. Able to avoid the damage from the Lux. Catinator going in. It's a 4v3 though. Around the corner, Zed waiting for somebody to assassinate. Commander C might be the one to take a step a little bit too far forward. Enzlor sitting in the bush waiting for the ultimate. Xeno around the corner. They do finally get some vision, so they know where those 2 are. Delicious Steel just biding his time. May find Commander C. Mid lane, Catinator's pushing. There's the Sona ultimate. There's everyone else bursting through. Commander C, though, using his own to avoid a lot of damage. It's a trade of kills. Kaisa and Zed both falling for the trade of Kayn. Sona going to go down as well. The CC chain onto Catinator, keeping him snared up for a moment. He gets good damage back to Xeno, but a good flash. Final spark is not quite going to land. The snare, though, is good. Infernal Chains dragging Xeno back in, but not in position. No free names, though, walking in, feasting away. I saw that one coming. Catinator with some slick movement, able to avoid it. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow, however, has the ultimate reset. Back underneath 400 health, waiting around, trying to see if he can save no free names. He's trying to 1v3 tank. He is a massive tank, but I don't think he can avoid all the damage for forever, and that's going to be Ashe and Lux picking up their own extra kills, and the CC from Capri Sun finally enough to win a massive extended fight in their own jungle.
And the problem there wasn't so much the fight that happened. The problem was the fact that that Team Spectacle just kept coming in and out of the fight. They never stayed in, never were there as 5. If they had been there as 5, they would have had a much better chance of executing that fight properly. Instead, they come in 1, 2, 3 at a time and then have to cycle out various members.
And I have to give massive credit, I highlighted with the camera, all of the wards from Capri Sun through their own jungle here. You saw earlier they didn't have much wards. There was no wards to see Delicious Seal. There was no wards in the bush that Enzlor and Raven Leo were hanging out in. And so over time, they slowly pushed the ward line that started next to their turret through the jungle into their through into the jungle, and eventually had the whole place warded. So no matter where Team Spectacle came from when they were adding those extra 2 or 3 members, they had vision of them, and that was so important and really good for Capri Sun just to have that vision.
Yeah, and that vision is going to continue here for a while. They've got a couple of wards going over and transferring into zombie wards. A couple of those also forced Team Spectacle in that same area, but as a result of that vision, they're recontrolling this game. However, they don't have vision on the top side of the map, except for that one little, except for the Scuttle Crab, which...
No, Team Spectacle cannot, there's no vision at the moment if we switch over to vision.
Oh, no, I'm going back and seeing...
They use the blast cone to get over. As
they did use the blast cone, yep.
Pops Phantom of Temp once again, just a quick burst. And so Baron should fall completely unknown by Team Spectacle. They felt confident by having the Scuttle Crab down, but unless you pop that Rift or the blast cone, even then you could flash over the wall if you really wanted to. They're going to lose Baron to Team Spectacle.
Yeah, so Spectacle can actually use that to push out quite a few of these lanes. Raven Lee picking up some much-needed farm on the top side of the map right now, as the rest of the map is pushing out, and I would not be surprised to see a 1-3-1 of some sort form here in order to capitalize and push that Baron advantage as far as they could possibly do.
And the Kai'Sa is catching up very quickly on the farm of Ashe, 187 to 160. But the main difference between these two, even the Aatrox 202 to 207 on the Vigar, is the top lane. 121 on the Yasuo to 240 on this Zed. He has completely eliminated his competition on the other side of the lane. Destroyed him in every sense of the word. Xeno, oh, nice little root. Doesn't get the red buff, though. Will be snunned up by Enzlor, who uses the ult. The shield keeps the Lux alive for a moment, but Zed comes around the side, gives the kill credit over, but Vigar trades it back, so support for support is gone. The next Mountain Drake, triple mountains going to be over to Spectacle, as the Yasuo is trying to push into the top side, doing what he can as a split pusher, which is probably the only thing he really can do. Delicious Seal, very low. They've gotten some good CC on Decatinator, force his ultimate out, wait for it to time out before going back in. It's now timed out, so you need to finish him off. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not timed out. I'm wrong, guys, I'm still learning Aatrox. So, it's now down. No free names. The Zed did not die, he just backed. As the members of Spectacle are going to be pushed out of the mid lane, even with Baron buff. Yasuo probably going to fall. Zed did back, so was able to come to the top side. And 2v1, Yasuo take him out. Once again, 2-12-5, the roughest of games. 24 kills to 33. He's been 12, half of his team deaths.
And it's unfortunate.
In the mid lane, no free names, 2v1ing. Can he take out Phantom of Temp? High guys here as well. Feast is available, but he doesn't use it. Ashe getting kill credit for that one. I think Vigar got him extremely low with the ultimate, and Ashe got the last little tick on him as Catinator is pushing him this top side. Triple Mountain breaks in to make it easy to clean up the inhibitor. High guy's gonna find Enzlor once again. Is the 1v1 going to be enough? Zanya's keeping alive for a moment.
Oh!
Double stun, but Ashe immediately recalling with the Vigar falling. Kai'Sa there decides not to fight it out. Top inhibitor's fallen once again for Capri Sun, but they've done a good job of defending so far past the 30-minute mark for these two teams. Gold difference is slowly becoming less effective. Though right now, Team Spectacle is probably the strongest they are, as several members are on their 4th item. Capri Sun still sitting on 2 for most of their people.
Yeah, especially some of their more important members that we were talking about and highlighting early on in the game, especially Yasuo with the ability to extend some CC with extend some CC with that last breath. That's the big one that we were looking for to extend. One thing I do want to note. Okay, Commander did already evolve. Good. I was thinking he hadn't transformed yet for some reason.
No, he actually transformed fairly early on in the game, a lot earlier than I was expecting, getting some nice knockups, especially on Catnator in the mid lane. But, yo, Jake, how long till Drake spawns? The next Drake, I believe, is about 4 minutes away. And it probably is the Elder Drake, if I'm not mistaken. It's Catnator in the mid lane, or in the bottom lane, I'm sorry, finds the Ash, getting the damage down. But a 3-man stun from the Viger holds him in place, gets himself a double kill. Catnator on the run. Does have his ult available if he wants to use it, trying to just escape though without having to throw it down. 4 members here, double man stun. Can they finish off Catnator? The bind is there. He throws down the ultimate, waiting for it to time out, but he doesn't have much health when he does come back up. No free names. Now the targets are all chasing in. The stun down onto the Sona as well. And Capri Sun have the items, have the abilities, most importantly with those cooldowns, and layer the CC effect from. They're such a good 5-man when they don't find Spectacle as a 5-man themselves. Yasuo teleporting to the bottom side, or top side, I'm sorry, of his own base just to defend it against the pushing minions.
Yeah, that's the one advantage that Spectacle has going in their favor right now is because of the fact that they've only lost now 2. It's going to be 3 after this tower drops here. Since they've only lost the 3 towers, any losses that they do incur across the map probably aren't going to result in too many objectives going in their opponent's way. But that's going to become more and more of an issue, especially with these Elder Drakes spawning here shortly.
Next Baron up in under 2 minutes. What I'm really interested in seeing is the amount of standing gold Capri Sun has on the map that they can still pick up in those turrets is pretty substantial. So if they can find another fight or 2 like they just had, layering that CC, chaining somebody up, and Champions are going to miss, that's huge, as Sesh is going to flash over the wall, staying alive for a moment, but he throws the wind wall the wrong direction and will fall. And now Delicious Seal flashes away behind. Guys, uses the ultimate, takes him out. 2 for 1 at this point, as High Guys may be falling. Catnator uses the ultimate. Nice Zanya's by the Viger, keeps him alive for a moment, trying to time out Catnator's ult, but the resurrection occurs anyway. Xeno waiting for the opportune moment to strike as Commander C is here. It's a 2v4. The final spark going to deal a ton of damage, but not quite take out the Aatrox. He's so low. Commander C wants him, and they are able to pick up 1, but Lux is already gone. It's a 1v3. Team Spectacle can now push in unheeding of the Kane, as he's the only one left to try to defend, and the damage between the late game Kaisa and Sona is just insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 health on the Cho'Gath. Commander C gonna fall to the oppressive hits from Sona. They want some extra kills. They want C-Shot. They want to shut down the game. 3-man last breath does nothing. It's a light tickle. Enzalor maybe falling as the standard crystal arrow from the Ash might find him with one more auto attack. Can't get close enough. No, the shield is too much. And Team Spectacle takes game 2 and a beautiful finish with just a way too healthy Cho'Gath. Untouchable.
Yeah, he was a monstrosity, especially through that last team fight as well as through the extended base fight there. I was watching I like how they all turned and went for the kills instead of just hitting the Nexus.
Oh, yeah.
That was wonderful. Because like Kaisa was hitting some minions, and Enzalor and Cho'Gath went after. It was great. Either way, that is a win for Team Spectacle. A great job closing out that last team fight, making sure that they did get a couple of solid picks through there, and that converted into a victory for their side.
Oh, fancy. Wait, I can only see one? Why can I not click on...
Only see one what?
If you go to the extra stats, there's actually a new page called Runes, but I can only see one character. Probably need to fix that.
Let me see. Advanced details.
We get to see the 3-14-6 Yasuo. And there's actually a lot of details in here. Total bonus damage, total healing, 5 stacks on his ultimate hunter. I'll have to check that out more in the future.
He was the first pick on blue side. I wonder if if this is just supposed to be for like personal reference. And so that's what it shows us in Spectator, because it always shows us like in individual stuff the first like the blue side first pick.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Regardless, don't look at my runes. Don't look at them. Sorry. Change overlay cat and air. I apologize. Yeah, okay, all right. We'll switch. I sometimes I forget to fade it out. There's the advanced details. Now we'll look at the damage. Okay, 37,000. Vigard did the most. Aatrox did second most. Zed did third most. I'm surprised Delicious Seal didn't take top of the charts for damage. But anyway, all right, 2 MVPs and honorable mentions because we've got a game 3 to get to. And I'm excited to see some of the people play in game number 3. Go ahead and roll through the losing team MVPs and honorable mentions.
All right, the honorable mention for the losing side on Team Capri Sun, I am going to give that over to Lux. And once I close this out, I'll be able to see DRF Xeno on the Lux there. Set up a lot of kills for Phantom of Temp, making sure that that bot side did in fact get rolling. Kept the Kai'Sa from hitting that late game power spike too soon, and as a result, they had a good fighting chance whenever they had those big 5v5 team fights because of the fact that they had a big Lux and a big Ashe. I'm going to give the MVP, however, I'm going to give that over to High Guys. A lot of 3-man stuns, a lot of multiple. His event horizons were always perfectly placed in order to catch as many people as possible and force Catinator to make the tough choice of, do I hit the wall and immediately pop my cleanse, or do I try to fight inside this dueling pit? And a lot of the time, I saw multiple situations where Cat just had to run into the wall and hit his cleanse immediately because he had 2 or 3 more people converging on him that forced him to make that tough decision. So that was gone for the next fight, and those were the fights where we saw Cat fall relatively quickly, were the ones where he didn't have his cleanse to get out of the event horizon from High Guys.
Indeed. For the winning team, though I was considering switching those 2 around, but I like your reasons for why High Guys you got MVP on that one. For the winning team, giving honorable mention over to Catinator for playing a crazy good Aatrox. The only reason he didn't get MVP was because there were a handful of times that he went a bit too aggressive. He was feeling confident, feeling good, flashing in, making some really fancy plays, which we love to see. But again, you can't get the most valuable player on your team if you're giving a couple shutdown kills over to the enemy. So plenty of kills, but plenty of deaths himself. For the MVP, no surprise, we won't linger on it too long. Delicious Seal destroys the top lane, destroys everything else, and wins the game. But that can't... Oh, hey, there's a collapse. Thank you. I think it was Xeno who uses that. You guys, if you want, any of you can join in cheering and everything for any of the games down below. There's the option to do that. The huge shout-out, though, to no free names. 8, 3, and 8 on this Cho'Gath. Countered Commander C2121 multiple times in the mid lane, as well as heavy on the roams, came bottom lane to help get a quick double kill down there. And late game just was such a massive tank. Said, there's nothing you can do to kill me, nothing you can do to stop me. I've destroyed it. I'm just too tanky. I'm just too darn tanky. And that's the front line that we were expecting out of Spectagte, and they played it right. Something that Capri Sun could have used. But